when a kicker like Wil, who's had a ton of success, is kind of having a little bit of a slow start to the season, how do you kind of work through that?
Yeah, listen, you chalk up, you look at Wil's body of work, you look at what Wil did in the preseason. He had tremendous preseason. I think he missed one kick, maybe in practice for the entire preseason, and really happy with where he is. Listen, he had a bad day at the office last week. It happens to all of us. A couple of technical things. It's certainly nothing that's alarming. I still have, we all do have, very strong belief in Wil as a player, and I know he's going to get it cleaned up, so it's not even a concern.
And he seems like the kind of guy who's pretty mentally strong, able to kind of bounce back from that stuff pretty quickly too.
Yeah, listen, I think that's probably one of Wil's best attributes is his personality. Listen, he's a guy that's going to analyze everything. He's a competitor, he's a fighter, and there was no one more upset about it than him. So he'll get it cleaned up, and he knows what he needs to do. And again, moving forward, I'm not a concern at all.
Were you guys kind of scrambling to replace Deontay last week? Was that part of the plan?
Well, listen, I think the best part of our roster right now is different than the past. We actually have more options right now in the return game than we might have had in other years. So you look at some of our guys on the roster that have a return experience. There's a number of guys. Obviously, Jarvis is a guy that I coached in Miami before, and he had a lot of success with us as a punt returner there. There's a number of guys that can kick return for us as well. And so we go into a game, and we have about 4 or 5 different guys that could potentially do it for us. So I don't know if scramble's the right word. Listen, Deontay, when he's out there, he changes the game. He's one of the best in the business at what he does, and so that's certainly he's certainly a major factor when he's on the field for us. But we do have a lot of options in the building, so that helps us.
Maybe the better way to ask that was: were you guys expecting to be without him going into Sunday?
Yeah, listen, that you can handle. DA will handle all the injury stuff. We prepare every week to get everybody ready to play, and so I knew that we knew that he was maybe dealing with something, but again, DA could probably fill in more better with that than I can.
Coach, what goes into the decisions, kick by kick, of whether to take it out of the end zone? And I mean, was that a plan to be aggressive and because the points weren't on the board, or was that
in reference to last week?
Last week.
Yeah. So listen, their kicker kicked us 2 line drive balls. One we didn't field cleanly, and we were 1 guy away from scoring on the play. If we field that ball cleanly, we're going to get really good field position. So a lot goes into the return, or where he's lining up, the trajectory of the ball, the hang time, where the ball is, how much distance in the end zone it might have, or how much width it might have. And so a lot goes into what our call is on that particular play. But if we get a line drive ball right at us, we feel like we can get great field position. The one we mishandled, and then obviously Dwayne kind of lost his footing on the other. But we feel like we had a couple of good plays there, just kind of didn't execute. We kind of left him on the field a little bit. So I think if you look at our numbers, we've probably been more aggressive than most teams in terms of returning the ball. We feel like we can make a play in that. We haven't been a highly penalized team, although we got one last week. And so we're kind of aggressive in that nature, probably a little bit more than most.
And we haven't talked to you since the 53-man roster was put together. Was there anyone who particularly had a really outstanding summer that sort of earned their way into a significant role in this team through special teams that stood out?
There's a few. You look through our roster. I think that's again one of the things when you look at our 53-man is that we have a bunch of guys at different positions that can be core players, and so. There's the names that you guys are used to: Dwayne Washington, Zach Bond, Andrew Dowell. But guys that have stepped up for us. Alante Taylor, obviously he's out right now, but he had a great camp. A guy like Kirk Merritt had a great camp on special teams. A guy like Chase Hansen had a great. So there's a number of players that I thought really stood out. Dan Sorensen has been a really great addition to our team. He was involved in 3 tackles last week. He was our in-house special teams player of the week that we give out weekly. So. There's a number of guys, and so I'm really confident with that core group. I think we have a really good depth there.
Thank you very much.
You got it, guys. Appreciate it.